Happy Lunar Year to those of you who are celebrating Chinese New Year. Kung hei fa choi, look at me wearing red. So it's a good time again to just stay with us, and welcome to our Wednesday Wellness. And tonight we have another exciting topic that we're going to discuss with our experts. That will discuss about intermittent fasting and how are we going to prolong that fasting. So we're going to discuss if you are doing intermittent fasting and you feel like you're not doing it correctly, or are you breaking your fast the right way. Make sure to stick around, because we're going to share with you some good information about intermittent fasting and how intermittent fasting can not only do benefit to your health but to your skin as well. So tonight we have a special guest again that is joining us, our experts, and they will I will let them introduce themselves. They're the expert in this field. So before I get them on the screen, if we haven't met and this is your first time tuning in to our Facebook Live, I'm Elaine Alberto, aesthetic nurse and a registered nurse for over 3 decades. Yeah, 3 decades. And so I'm a health enthusiast as well, and so I've been incorporating beauty and wellness together with my daughter, Dr. Angelica. So that's why we're very passionate about helping people that are struggling with their health and wellness issue. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome our guest tonight. We have Megan O'Brien and Sarah Lowe. So welcome, Megan and Sarah. So please briefly introduce yourself so that our viewers will know who you are.
Sure. Well, my name's Megan O'Brien. I'm an exercise physiologist. I do have a background in cardiovascular health, mainly cardiac rehab. And I've been really focused on nutrition and helping people not only prevent, but reverse different metabolic conditions. And that's really my passion.
And I'm Sarah Lowe, and my background is primarily in education. I was a teacher, school counselor, school psychologist, but I kind of went on this track of I became a health coach and was very much involved with the health and wellness for the parents at my schools. And I've become a health advocate in terms of how can I best educate people about things that they need to know about regarding their health, and again, prevention of disease, or even, reversing disease. So I am happy to be here.
Well, welcome. And I am so happy for both of you joining us tonight and sharing your expertise and your knowledge about this important topic, because there's a lot of people that are doing intermittent fasting and they're like, I don't see the result of the intermittent fasting, right? Have you encountered that? So that's why, yeah, so that's why it's really very important to understand what it is, how to do it, right? So first, what is intermittent fasting? It's basically alternating periods of eating and periods of fasting. So that's why it's intermittent fasting, right? And we have different cycles of intermittent fasting, whether it's 12 hours, 14, 16, 18, 24, 36. So the list goes on until you can tolerate, because there's a lot of benefits. The longer you do the fasting, the good benefits are into your body, right? Would you like to expand on that, Megan?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually have been doing a little bit of research on what's going on in today's world, and we are typically here in the United States, North America, we're eating over the span of 15 hours. That is the norm. So it's kind of like we're grazing all day long, and we have about 11 eating periods throughout the day. So that just means you're having your 3 meals, maybe a snack or two, and you walk by and you grab some grapes and pop them in your mouth. That's an eating event. So averaging 11 eating events. So what we're talking about intermittent fasting, it's just really trying to shrink that eating window down into a smaller window so that we're not eating and grazing all day long. And for many of us, I look at it as, hey, what if we skipped one meal a day? For me, it's typically breakfast, and then eliminate some of the snacks. And when you do that, you eliminate any glucose spikes, because when you put food in your mouth, it spikes your blood sugar. That blood sugar elicits a hormonal response. Your pancreas has to release the hormone insulin to manage the glucose spike and take it out of your bloodstream and deliver it to your cells. But when we're grazing and eating and snacking all day long, we're constantly spiking that blood sugar, which means we're pumping out a ton of insulin. And it's really leading us down the road into metabolic disease and disorder. 92% of the country currently struggles with some sort of metabolic issue. And so we're just trying to bring some more awareness to what are the benefits of intermittent fasting and how can we do it better?
I'm going to just chime in with what you just said. I mean, it sort of dovetail on this is that number one, for a long time, I thought I was intermittent fasting. I wasn't eating until lunchtime, but I would wake up and I would have a cup of coffee with my agave syrup. And so I was like totally falsely, I was thinking, oh, well, I'm not eating, so I'm fasting. But I was spiking my blood sugar at the time. The other thing that I want to also comment about what you said is that as a health coach, that's how I was trained. I was trained to tell people that you should be grazing throughout the day, that you should, you hear this all the time. Don't let your blood sugar drop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem in the first place. That's the problem, is the blood sugar never dropping, never, and the insulin never dropping. So I think that the fasting piece of it, I have since learned, and I now don't drink my coffee with cream and sugar in the morning, but I've learned that there are so many benefits in terms of the fast. And I don't know, I'll just pop this in terms of what really happens when your insulin levels go down. When you're not eating, your insulin levels go down and your body switches over into something called fat burning mode. So your body needs fuel to run. I mean, it needs fuel to just sit in a chair, for all of your organs and all of your parts to be functioning and working. But when insulin is high, it's burning glucose because insulin is high. But when insulin is low, it starts to burn the stored body fat. And that helps with so many things, not just weight loss, but also things like it stimulates the liver to create ketones. The ketones provide this incredible feeling of energy and alertness, because the brain actually prefers ketones to glucose. And so, I mean, you hear about the ketogenic diet and people kind of go on this like this like they become really like they love being in ketosis because it feels so good.
Yeah, but the problem with just going into the keto diet, there are so many bad benefits too, because a lot of clients that I had, they said, oh, I did keto before, but I had gallstones. So, because of those stone deposits. So that's why it's not good to be purely, totally on keto diet, right? So it has to be balanced, but
Right.
it
You need
needs
the
to be,
balance of nutrition. You need the other things. You need the vegetables and you need
yeah.
those. Yeah,
Exactly.
for
And,
sure.
and by the way, for those of you who are watching, make sure to give us a heart, like this video, and share it to your friends, your family who could benefit from the information that we're going to share tonight. Because we are going to share some important information that you want your loved ones to know, because you want them to be healthy, right? In this day and age, we want to live longer and healthier, so this is the way to go. So that's why with my clients who are on my program, like the 8-week fat melt and metabolic reset program, I said this is not just for 8 weeks. This is for life. This is what you're going to do in order for your body to be at its healthiest state. The problem with the people that's saying that they cannot see the effectiveness or they cannot see the benefit of intermittent fasting is because of the common mistakes that they do during the intermittent fasting. And what are those mistakes? First, after eating, after fasting for so many hours, then they starve themselves. They so hungry after they tend to overeat, right? They eat like everything. They eat bread, rice, sweets, anything because to make them feel. And they think that they're benefiting from it because they fasted, but they're feeding themselves with so much food, so much calories that is not good when you're doing the intermittent fasting, right? And
Right.
then the other mistake is that they're not drinking enough water. So that's why they're dehydrated. So they're not getting the benefits of it. And then the other benefit is they start because they said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do an 18-hour fasting, or I'm going to fast for 24 hours. And then they got burnout, right? So those are just the common mistakes that we want to avoid. We want to go baby steps, and we want to have something that will supplement our fasting period, right? Would
Right.
you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I tell a lot of clients is how you can completely undo so many of the benefits that you just did with a fast if you break it incorrectly. Like you said, a lot of people will dive into the carbs, but the best way to break a fast is going to be number one, eat some fiber. Number two, get some healthy, good protein and some good, healthy fat. And then if you are going to have a little bit of carbohydrates, just eat that at the very end of your meal so that it doesn't elicit the glucose spike and you're not derailing all of the benefits that you just did with the fast.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
The other thing that I
go
want to
ahead.
say too is that there's also another thing that people I think encounter when they're fasting is that they, how do I say this? The length of time when you talked about burning out, the length of time, it gets really hard, when you're and particularly if you're in a state of what we call insulin resistance, when there's things like hunger cravings and all of these things, and you're having to like really implement a whole lot of mental fortitude and discipline and just like to avoid having that snack that you're so used to having. And so sometimes you just kind of go, well, this one little thing isn't going to hurt it too much, because I just
Exactly.
going to cut the edge a little bit for, and it will probably break your fast and will undo, like Megan said, all of the good things that you've been doing. But but there are ways to be able to get, and that's, we all work with this tea that we I think we'll talk about tonight at some point, but that
Yeah,
really makes it so much easier, so much.
exactly. So that's why we wanted to let our viewers know, because I know some of the challenges also that the people experience while doing the intermittent fasting. That's why they give in. It's because they feel the hunger. They become hungry
Yes,
and they get mad, right? I'm hungry, I'm starving. So they have mood swings, right? So that's why
that was me.
so that's why their partner or their kids would just say, here, eat. You just eat.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So those are the challenges. That's why you really need to have something that you will be drinking while you are on intermittent fasting to reap all the benefits of the intermittent fasting and do it the right way, right? So
right.
would you like to like explain or discuss with how the field grade system works in order to enhance the prolong the intermittent fasting and the benefits? Oh, before we go there, let's just dive into the benefits of the fasting. Would you
Mhm.
like to expound on that one?
Yeah, when you first start fasting, right around the 12-hour or so mark, your body releases more HGH. That's the human growth factor or human growth hormone, which you know probably, Elaine, very well because of what you do. But that is incredibly powerful, like for cell regeneration, for growth, for mitochondria development. And so HGH starts to be released more at hour about 12, right around between hour 14 and 16. Your body starts switching into fat burning mode. So even thin people have plenty of extra calories and fat that they can tap into and utilize for fuel, especially that visceral fat that you can't even
Yes,
see.
exactly.
Yeah, around hour 17, autophagy starts. And so this is super fascinating. And I think of it as like, a dial on your, like a light switch, right? That you can turn up and get brighter and brighter and brighter. So right around hour 17 is where it starts to get turned on. And autophagy is really almost like spring cleaning for our cells and our mitochondria, because we are constantly duplicating our cells. And so if your cells are damaged, if the mitochondria are damaged, you're duplicating that and making more of those damaged cells. But when you do autophagy, you're cleaning a lot of that out. You're also helping to reboot a lot of your hunger hormones, your gut bacteria start to reset, and it starts getting brighter, and autophagy just continues to grow until about hour 72. So it is fascinating. I could dive into autophagy for a long time, which is why I've done some of my longer fasts. Sarah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, that's exactly why I do it. And the whole thing, I mean, if you're, over 50 or whatever, and you're thinking about anti-aging, or, how to keep those cells young and fresh
Mm,
and clean,
exactly.
the viruses or the rogue cells that are turning into something that, might turn into something bad. I mean, all of that, it's just so good to do that longer fast once in a while.
Exactly, because like just like Megan said, it spring cleans the body. So what happens? It gets rid of the gunk of the body to give way to the new cells, because the new cells regenerates. It's the same exact concept as the skin regeneration. That's why fasting has some great benefits also to your skin. So
Mhm.
that's why when you do intermittent fasting or you're fasting for a longer period of time, it also gives that benefit to your skin, makes your skin glow, because it helps get rid of those bad cells on your skin. So it helps make your skin plump and boost the collagen. So that's why it's really very, very important. And you can see like feeling good and also looking younger, when you do this intermittent fasting, because of the fact that it's giving way to your new cells,
Yeah,
right? So
I'm really 95 years old.
I love it.
that's why it's so funny. I tease my clients sometimes, like, oh, I'm actually 65 and the plastic surgery is successful.
The one
And when I
thing
when I
before we move on, the thing also that we want to mention, because I suspect we might have a lot of women in the audience and are in the viewers, there is something to also know about fasting. If you are a woman and like in the menstruating age, is that you want to be sure, and actually I think even menopausal women are supposed to do it with the lunar cycle, but I have to admit I haven't done that. But anyhow, for menstruating women, you want to make sure that the week before you're supposed to bleed is the week that you're really not fasting, because we have so many men have one hormone, we've got like a whole bunch of them, right? And so all of those hormones have to work properly, and the week before we bleed we need to be able to develop progesterone such that all of the rest of our cycle and everything happens properly. And so in that week we really are supposed to be feeding ourselves, and so there are guides and just something to make note of. Look for it. There's a really great book. I have it right here. It's called, I know it's backwards, Fast
oh,
Like a Girl.
oh,
And it talks all about fasting, I mean, men can read it too, because I mean, most of it's about fasting and how good it is for you. But it does talk about the fasting cycle as a woman, fasting with your cycle.
well,
Right.
thank you for that information. That's good to know, because I mean, women, there's so many things going on in our body, right?
Oh,
From the time of puberty to the menopausal stage, it's just our body is just constantly going through something. So knowing all
Right.
these things is very beneficial for all of us, especially during the perimenopausal, menopausal, and postmenopausal stage, because
Yeah.
of the hormones that are, you know, going that we lose during that stage.
Exactly. And as we control insulin, if we're controlling glucose, we're controlling insulin. And so I've seen a lot of women who have lots of struggles with their menopausal hormones are just out of whack. They've got the itchy skin, they're not sleeping, they're having the hot flashes, all of these things. And as we control their insulin spikes and get that under control, I like to say, like, insulin's kind of like the bully on the playground sometimes. When it's way too high, it's pushing all of your hormones around. So when we can control that, we start to see the other hormones just play nicely together. They all start to balance out a little bit. And therefore, some of those menopausal symptoms start to subside. And that is a win for a lot of women.
Mm.
Oh,
Talking about that. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
well, I was just going to say on that point, I talk to people and I have this list of all the symptoms of insulin resistance: skin tags, brain fog, fatigue, weight issues. Those 4 symptoms I had, and I was convinced that was because I was menopausal. And what happens is when your estrogen lowers, your insulin goes up. And then if you're also, eating too many carbs and you're pushing it up more and more anyway, it puts it so out of balance. But I realized that all 4 of those things are also those are symptoms of insulin resistance. I thought it was just me getting older and going through menopause, but it's not. It's the insulin resistance. So it was interesting.
And there's something that will help all of us with insulin resistance, right?
Mhm.
So why don't you explain the feel great system?
Yeah, well, this system is what I love about it is that it's been well researched. There's over 12 clinical studies. Cleveland Clinic has studied this, along with Stanford, UNLV, many more. And so it's just a protocol, really. And what I kind of tell people is this is just a tool to help you do the intermittent fasting better. If you've struggled with intermittent fasting like myself and Sarah, we're kind of doing it wrong, or we're hangry, or I love food. So just the thought of skipping a meal kind of made me nervous. And I didn't really like thinking that I couldn't eat breakfast. So the protocol is it's just 2 things. It's a chlorogenic acid tea that basically turns off the food noise. So I'm not really that hungry. It suppresses my appetite. It acts as a natural GLP-1, so it helps your body increase its own natural production of the GLP-1 peptide without any side effects. But you kind of just sail through intermittent fasting. I don't have any problem fasting anymore.
Yeah,
And because I'm
me
able to
too.
do it without cheating or grabbing snacks, I am managing my glucose. I'm keeping my insulin down, and I'm starting to see the weight loss happen. My skin tags went away. I no longer have brain fog. So that's one part of the protocol. You sip 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, because I'm a snacker. And then the second part is a fiber matrix that further helps reduce your blood glucose, because we have to eat, right? But when we do have that biggest meal of the day, you just take some fiber right before you eat your meal or with your meal. And that fiber really gets thick and viscous in your stomach, and it minimizes any of the glucose from getting through from the food that you're eating. So a smaller glucose spike means a smaller amount of insulin that's needed. And now we're really starting to win the war on insulin and insulin resistance. And we're seeing people have life changing stories with just using this protocol.
I'm going to just say one thing: the tea, the food noise, gone. I mean,
I
I
can,
felt
I
like
can agree with that.
my biomarkers improved and my pre-diabetes went away and my cholesterol came down and I lost about 10 pounds. And it's crazy to say that this, like, the food noise thing was the biggest win for me, but it was. I didn't realize how much can power that constant hunger, constant craving, constant thinking about food, being nervous about going to an event and wondering, was there going to be enough food? Was I going to get hangry? Was, all of that. And the tea like literally within like day two or maybe even day one. I mean, I just was like shocked at how everything went quiet, and I just and I know I'm not alone. I know that there's a lot of people out there that struggle with this, and it's really big. And I just it worked. It really worked. So
It really does, because I told you before, right? When I first started using, I'm a coffee holic. I'm a coffee lover. First thing in the morning, I grab my coffee. I need to have my coffee to give my energy, right? But since I started using this Feel Great system, I didn't even realize that I'm not craving for coffee. I like first thing in the morning, I grab my Unimate, mixed my water. I started sipping that, first thing in the morning, and then I move on and carry on with my day, and I don't even get hungry. So then I never like crave for coffee. Before, at some point, I really need to have my coffee. I need to have my coffee, and I get like caffeine withdrawal, so I get the headache. Now I don't feel that. So just to let you all know, whoever's watching, the Unimate has a little caffeine, right? So that's why if you're caffeine sensitive, you want to just start slow to get your body get adjusted to it, and make sure that you drink a lot of water, because they are, and for sure, because the product or the supplement will give you that extra energy. So because we have a, go
I was
ahead.
going to say about the caffeine, like I prefer the flavor of mine really, really diluted, and I do drink it all through the day. But I am the kind of person that I can't drink a cup of coffee after about 3, or I'm awake. I can't sleep. But this tea, I actually am able to drink all the way through dinner, after dinner. I just like, I keep sipping it and I don't have a problem. There's something called theobromine in it, which has also a calming effect. And
Mhm.
caffeine really that's in there is like what dark chocolate might be. It's not
Mm,
coffee. It's
yeah,
dark chocolate. So it's
exactly.
not really that bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's just for those people who are really like caffeine sensitive, because I have encountered clients who are really caffeine sensitive. And so that's why, just a little, just FYI to
It-
those who are
yeah.
watching us right now. And by the way, if you're interested about this supplement that we are discussing with you, just put in the comment. And if you need help with the protocol on how you're going to get started with this, just comment down below. And again, please like and share our video, so that those people that needs our help and that needs help with their health and weight loss journey, that we'll be able to reach out to them and help them as well. And the other things that I heard from my clients is they're loving the taste, because one of the things that people are scared about is like, does that taste good, or does it like have this does it leave taste in your mouth? I was like, no, it actually tastes good. My friend says, oh, I love the taste of this. It's very refreshing, And one of my friend, they added a mint, so it gives a little good flavor to the Unimate, and then you drink it cold, and it's really good. And then the balanced fiber, I like the orange, because when you use the frother to mix it, it tastes like orange shake, and it
Mhm.
tastes really good. So I just chug it down, and then before I eat. So I always have it with me. So even if I go out, I attend parties, I make sure that I drink it before I eat.
Yeah.
And then, surprisingly, because, during the holidays and then weekends, we tend to like, splurge or something, because we're human, right? And we do it once in a while. But the main thing that we need to remember is we need to reset on a Monday morning. We cannot continue to be splurging. Otherwise, then, we'll continue to gain the weight. So what I tell my clients is, it's okay, but you can reset on a Monday. And I'm able to sustain the weight loss that I have, because I lost 18 pounds. A lot of people are asking me like, what did I do to lose the weight and to keep it off? Because one thing is losing it, but main thing is keeping it off, right? It's so difficult to keep it off. So that's why it's really, very important that you stick with it, because the supplement will help like stabilize that, and will help. And also, one thing that I want to share is, when we are trying to share this with our clients, we are trying also to help them get rid of the old habits, the old beliefs. We want to bring in new information, and we want to bring these new habits, the healthier lifestyle, so that you can sustain this for life, right? Because this is for
Right.
longevity. So that's why the supplements really help us a lot, because of research studies showed of the too many benefits, and a lot of doctors are already recommending this to their clients, and this supplement is already on the physician desk reference. So this physician desk reference is the book, the Bible of the doctor, where they look at medications, or if they don't know a certain medications, they go to this physician desk reference, and that's where they go. So this particular supplement is already in the physician desk reference. So that's why you can already tell that it's a good supplement to have, right?
And guarantee.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's guaranteed. And isn't it? It has like a 90-day money back guarantee if they don't see the result on them, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I tell people go into it with a 90-day mindset, because the company literally guarantees that this will work in 90 days or you get your money back. So, what you see in month 1 may be nothing compared to what you see in month 3, because you're truly healing your body. It allows you to stay consistent. As you stay consistent, you start noticing that your gut starts to heal. As your microbiome starts to improve, your cravings start to change. So it's not as hard as people like to make things out to be. It's usually a very natural progression into a much more healthy lifestyle. And suddenly you don't want the cookies or the ice cream or for me, it was popcorn at night, because my gut biome has changed and the new gut bugs don't want all that stuff.
And you can feel it. Like I tell my
Yeah.
clients, once you start taking this supplement and the balance, like right before you eat your biggest meal of the day, even if your eyes and your mouth still wants, I want to eat, your gut will say no, right? You
Yeah.
can you can feel that. I'm like, no more. I'm already up to here,
I
and
Yeah.
you
I
can tell that.
I had I've always been a woman with a very heavy appetite. Let's just put it that way. I could pack down the food, right? And now I can barely, I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh, but I just want to have that one, two, three, four last bites. And it's like, oh, I can't. I just
Yeah,
can't. So full.
exactly.
Yeah.
Another point too, we were talking earlier about the autophagy and the longer fasts. I want to just also mention how, if you are somebody who wants to try a longer fast over, like besides 17 hours, maybe. I mean, I did 17 to 18, then I did 24, then I went to 36, 42, then I did a 48-hour fast. And I will
Wow.
tell you, the tea and the fiber made it seamless, painless. That's the best way
Wow,
to say
I want to try that. I want to try at least the 24 hours and see,
it.
what I
That,
can
Oh,
do.
yeah.
because I mean, what I did is I would eat on the 48-hour one. I ate dinner, then I went all the way up to dinner the next day, and I had the fiber for dinner, and it filled me up.
Because
It
it
made
won't break your fast.
and it won't break your fast. So I actually drank the fiber for dinner, and I felt satisfied. I wasn't going to bed feeling like I hadn't eaten. And then I went to sleep, and I went all the way through the next day, and then I had dinner on the second day. And then I wasn't like ravenous either. I had a normal meal. I didn't eat all of the meals that I missed in one.
So you can replace the balance with the meal, right? So that it will prolong your fasting,
Yep.
and it
and,
will not break your
and
fasting.
it won't break your fast.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because that's what the problem is. That's why people cannot prolong the fasting, is because they need to have the food. All these hunger hormones are like, you need to eat, you need to eat. And this is also another thing that I want to share. When you have that cravings, when the food noise is there, your brain doesn't know what you're feeding your stomach. So when you feel that, drink water and you will feel that you're full, right?
Mhm.
So do not give in when your brain says you need to eat, you need to eat, just drink water and drink your supplement, drink the Unimatic, and that will really prolong that fasting and will help quiet down those noise. So it's really an amazing supplement. So guys, I really encourage for you to try this. And if you need help, if you want to try this, just reach out and we'll be more than happy to help you, and we'll send you the link, or we'll explain to you more about this amazing supplement. And the good thing, it's all natural. There's no side effects. You're doing it, no downtime. So, it's like a win-win for your health and for your longevity, right? And so if you have any questions, just comment down below and we'll try to answer them even after this live. So, because we promised that we're just going to be 30 minutes live, we're 6 minutes past the the time allotted, right? So, well, thank you so much for everyone who tuned in with us tonight. And we're going to have another interesting topic for next Wednesday for our Wednesday Wellness. So make sure that you tune in at 7 p.m. again for next Wednesday. And we are going to give you more information, more education, more tips. And then comment below if there's some information or topics that you want us to discuss so that we can prepare that for you, and then we can discuss that on one of our Wednesday Wellness Facebook Live. So thank you so much, Megan. Thank you, Sarah, for your time for tonight. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And again, wishing everyone a happy, healthy, and an abundant Lunar New Year. Okay. Thank you
Thank
all,
you.
and have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.